Yeah, Mouse Sports against Galaxy from Newerth.
From Team MVP.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Galaxy is a Zerg player that doesn't have that much spotlight. Used to be on Team Gosu Gamer, but now is on MVP. Never really had big exposure, but in the NASL, he did beat his teammate Dongregu.
Did you know I work for Gosu Gamers?
Do you?
Yes, I do. Is that crazy? I used to be affiliated with them for quite a long time.
You used to work for them?
Well, I mean, I still, technically am still on their staff if you go to their website.
Are you on their payroll? No. He did beat Dongregu. My producer really can't believe he beat DRG, but it's true. Dongregu, one of the famed best Zerg in the world at the moment, just because of his performance at MLG and how he's been performing all across the board, has been defeated by Galaxy, his teammate. Now, Galaxy has been tearing up the rest as well. His EVP was phenomenal. Do you remember his series against Finale? He did really well and was able to really show great ZVP. Hasuobs has been playing also really well in NASL. You're really confused by that drone, aren't you?
I am super confused. Ooh, Hasuobs needs to be careful. I was about to say...
Is he going to proxy hatch?
I would love that, but...
Is he going to proxy hatch? Wow, he's going to do it. Mr. Bitter, I hope you're watching, because Galaxy is about to proxy hatch. Now, the reason why I call out Mr. Bitter yet again is because he did this on ladder today. I looked over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And this is just to purely disrupt his opponent, especially if they're going for Nexus first. And this is such a cute play from Galaxy.
Now, there's a couple of ways to actually go about this. The follow-up to this is actually really interesting because there are a lot of different all-ins or implied all-ins that you can do. Getting a gas actually scares the Protoss like crazy. Like crazy. Frodan, think about it. I have to make one cannon to defend, or actually kill the hatchery, right? Then I have to make another cannon to defend that front. Then I have to make potentially more cannons to defend my destructive rocks. If I just get, 5 roaches out and act like I'm doing a one base all in, my opponent is going to be on one base for that whole entire time. If I get a hatchery up and just Spinecrawler up, I've won the game. Interesting, right?
Well,
I learned that cheese from Wanna Be Cool.
Wow, that's true. WBC does have some pretty sick cheeses, and it's, he's the first one to admit it too, man. He's got some really cool thinking based off that, but only WBC, man. Wanna Be Cool,
dude. When I heard that, I was like,
"That's brilliant."
You sick, handsome, brilliant, cheesing bee.
You can see that Galaxy does an efficient hatchery, wants to get that queen out immediately. Hasuobs, targeting down that Zerg cocoon.
Oh, no.
And it's going to come down to the very last second, Andre.
Yes. Now, the queen is going to come out here. There's a very important spot you always have to remember whenever you're getting your queens out. You always want to place the creep tumors in between these mineral patches, and then stick your queen there to stop any zealots from actually trying to kill the creep tumor. If you can get the creep tumor up, you've just won.
Wow.
There you go.
Queen wants to place the creep tumor, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The zealots really want to target it down.
Good job. Oh, good job.
Very nice job from Hasuobs. And Galaxy does have 3 Zerglings that into the main base.
Not bad. It's still not going to do much when 2 zealots are already
this is
around.
So weird. I'm weirded out, man.
Oh, kills 1 zealot. Not bad. But still, this is going to go into macro mode from here. Hasuobs is not a cheeser, man.
Yeah, Hasuobs' style has just been sit back and play for as long as you can. Oh, a great surround on those probes.
Not bad.
Now, a big thing is, when we saw Hasuobs matchup against D-Maga, we thought, wow, this could potentially be the longest series of all time. Both players hate attacking into another player unless they have the absolute decisive advantage. And Hasuobs, more than capable of playing a timing kind of style, but he chooses to always sit back, play passive, get the 200 death ball, rely on his large army control. And now that his Nexus has been delayed so much, though, look at how the creep receded. Imagine that creep tumor stayed in. Would have been a whole different story.
Oh,
but
it would be fantastic. He should go fast lair, and then start up his creep with the overload. How bad manner would that be,
wow.
bro?
Well, in Heart of the Swarm, you can do it with just an Evo chamber.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can.
There's going to be evolution chamber rushes? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Evo chamber rushes where they go like a fast upgrade and then they block your expansion paths with
oh my god. Cats, you're welcome. You just have a new build. Hatchery rush? Make an Overlord.
Well, you know how they make a hatchery and then you do an Evo chamber?
Uh-huh.
And then you cancel the hatchery, make an Evo chamber, and then you can start dropping creep. And then they're like, wow, I just killed the Evo chamber, but I still can't expand.
Oh,
because everyone's
so
been dropping
sick.
creep. Wow. Galaxy's going to go for a third hatchery.
We just broke Heart of the Swarms, by the way.
Yeah,
congratulations, all Zergs. You guys just got another buff.
Everyone was posting saying, like, wow, I thought Zerg got cannon rushed, but no, actually, Hasuobs is the one that was defending against a proxy hatchery. Hasu going to follow it with pretty standard Stargate play. Now, all timings are so messed up because of this opening. Nothing is right. The Nexus is not even done. It's almost 8.5 minutes into the game. And Galaxy is taking the layer, just like you said, really quickly. But he's allocating a lot of his initial gas to that layer. Is he going to drop a Roach Warren soon and just start making units?
Yeah, there we go, finally. This Roach Warren is still really far away. I'm surprised he went for a Roach Warren. Initially, I was like, what the heck is he doing?
Well, I mean, yeah, putting the first 100 gas to the layer is pretty obvious indication.
Yeah, but, like, getting the Roach Warren so late, it's like, okay, why did you even get the layers this early, right? It's just a weird allocation of gas. If you're going to get this Roach Warren this late, then you might as well not mine so much gas. Still... I thought he was going to do like a defensive Spire or something like that and just go on Zerglings. I didn't know what he was up to, honestly. But
it's tough because you're not used to this kind of position if you're Hasuobs.
Correct.
Maybe you've seen this once or twice, but then you see like a follow-up Roachling all in with some kind of weird thing. But now Galaxy wants to just play macro. It's sort of like a reset, in essence, saying, I don't want you to get up your economy comfortably, make you stay on one base for a while, see how you respond, and we'll see how Hasu kind of adapts to situations depending on what the situation calls for. You can see immediately he's getting as Phoenixes in order. He didn't go for that Void Ray, going straight for Phoenixes, which is interesting to me as well. We don't normally see that too often.
Yeah.
Unless it's double Stargate.
He could be doing Phoenix, 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 and then Void Ray, or 4 Phoenixes and then Void Ray, and saying like, oh, I'm getting a lot of energy, and then I'm going to go hit, because still I was going to wait for 4 Phoenixes, but I highly doubt that. You know, I think you're losing a lot of potential timings, and you use the Void Ray to defend against a lot of all-int, although he doesn't have to really worry about all-int. I don't know. But Hasuobs is doing this Phoenix style. He needs to get dividends on this, though. Dividends being drones, of course, continuously throughout the whole, you know, early mid-games time.
Hasuobs going to pick up that Queen.
I'll take that.
Able to snipe it. The Spore Crawler does finish in time, but not in time to save Her Majesty. And you can see immediately, working on some of those Overlords, Hasuobs really utilizing those Phoenix mobility to just harass Zerg. Now Galaxy tech has been completely revealed, sees layers, sees one Evo Chamber and a Roach War, and Hasuobs knows exactly what his opponent's up to. Okay. Mass Roach.
But he isn't aware of this third base, I don't think. No, he isn't. So he needs to go ahead and scout out everything that's going on. Yes, the Phoenix count is impressive, but at this point it's very difficult. And if you are Mondragon, remember, the way you actually go about this is just mass up in a ton of roaches and punish your opponent. Now, thankfully, Hasuobs wasn't playing greedy. He wasn't playing abusive and just saying, my opponent will play defensive. Let's go ahead and take this time, since he's not taking map control, to take a third base. But Galaxy obviously producing a ton of units, ton of roaches, ton of Zerglings. This will defend against a lot of different follow-up all-ins, but I think it's incorrect against Hasuobs, who is the super standard player. I can already tell that just by the styles, Galaxy has no indication to know what type of player Hasuobs is, and Hasuobs is just reaping the benefits of it right now by going the most standard builds possible and safe builds.
Well, to be fair, players like Galaxy are so isolated in Korea, it's really hard to know what players like Hasu does normally, and vice versa. You've asked Hasu, like, how often have you seen Galaxy in a tournament where you can study his play? He'd probably say not that often or not at all. And Galaxy, as a result, would have to kind of throw in his own mixture of style of play, where he has thrown in some really weird mixes of builds. That said, we see Hasu playing straight up is exactly how he should deal with this. Take a very slow expansion, make a huge army off 2 base, and that way he's unkillable. Very similar to how we saw TT1 face off against Straylock. For now, we see that Tunneling Claws has been revealed as well, which means Hasu needs to move out with an Observer if he ever wants to move out, but he doesn't have an Observer. He's just been coding units out of his robo.
9 gateways, by the way. I want to mention that. Oh. So he is doing a 2-base all-in. If not, it's like the sickest thing to ever happen in the world, where he's going the safest 3-base in the world. My goodness. But you know, these Phoenixes are paying dividends. Income tab is showing 67 harvest to 45. Oh, it's a complete drone cut, by the way, or not drone cut, probe cut. So most certainly Hasuobs is not going to be taking an expansion.
That is a really nice cut there. Hasuobs placing another gateway. My goodness, really going for a huge influx of units, up to 10 gates. He does have +1 weapons. That is pretty much the only upgrade he's got. Galaxy starting to work on those backdoors rocks. Hasuobs sees it, and that's going to be a great trap for Hasuobs if he can kill off the rest of these units. But again, we do see that Hasuobs doesn't have the Observer with his army. So he's going to have to leave those units alone for a little bit of time.
Correct. You should be able to see them, though, and track them. It is kind of difficult to do that. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, it's so easy. No. It's difficult. It's difficult to see that in the sand, but still, no observers on the way out for Hasuobs just yet. There it is. No, Immortal. Whoa.
Oh, Galaxy's just using this to buy time at this point. Now he knows exactly what he needs to be prepared for. Making Corruptors, but of course Hasuobs does have those Phoenixes to try to keep the Corruptors busy. So as Galaxy prepares for this huge 2-base timing, it's going to be very valuable for Hasuobs to get great positioning. Ohana, a map where if you kind of take the high ground, you can do some pretty good protection of the Colossus. Would not be surprised to see Hasu hug the left side up the ramp, especially with the creep extending towards the middle. I would like Hasu to really hug the top.
By the way, note how smart Hasuobs is by going additional mortars after this. You have shown Colossus. You know your opponent is going to hard counter that quite substantially. They have to get a lot of Corruptors. They're probably going to get a lot of Corruptors, seeing as you have Phoenixes out in the field. Switch over, make sure your Gateway units and your Immortals can do enough damage, and then just take it to your opponent like that. Hasuobs going to engage right here. Did he lose a single unit? It felt like he didn't lose anything right there.
The efficiency is outrageous. Hasuobs pressing in here. Can he take game number 1 and a strong lead in this best-of-5 series where winner takes all? The Colossi are dropping, but it doesn't even matter. There's just so many ground units, and the Immortals are doing incredible amounts of damage, especially this one in the front with 13 kills. You are joking me. Any Roaches that pops up immediately dies, even using the Phoenix to lift off or any Roach that comes close. Hasu is tearing Galaxy apart, and this third drops that is just way too much position for his opponent. Hasu doesn't even have to use any more of his sentry energy. He has just so much army advantage. There it is. Good game. WW from Galaxy. Hasuobs takes game number 1 in this best-of-5. A very critical game indeed.
Great timing from Hasuobs. Obviously, that whole transition. I think he actually got ahead from that early game, even though his second Nexus was delayed for so long. The big thing is that his opponent was inefficient with his build. He still did a double assimilator timing after that. The Phoenixes were able to make him be very cost efficient, and not only that, very efficient going forward. He knew exactly what buildings to make, what composition, and when to hit. And he just does it, and it's the most seamless build ever. But, you know, Hasuobs just has a lot of experience. I think that showed there in game number 1.
Yes, and he showed a lot of poise, and hopefully he can bring that poise to game number 2. Now, we want to thank Twitch.tv for partnering with us for the stream. If you're watching via Twitch.tv, or if you are a staff member from Twitch, thank you so much for all you do for esports and for StarCraft 2 and for the NASL. Game number 2 between the Hasuobs and Galaxy. Hasu has a 1-0 lead. Can the German Protoss come and win over a Korean Zerg that's come out of nowhere, or the open winner strike again and really take their spot in the NASL playoffs? We'll find out after this commercial.